Hello everybody, gonna try this out. There's a lot to put together to do a video demo for a slab construction, but here we go, let's try it. Okay, so first thing you need to do, of course, is gonna be design what you're gonna build. You wanna this is gonna be a house creation, so you would want to do a template first of what the size of your house are. Here I have the side. This is the side of my house, and this will be the front and the back. And then I just did a little template for this will be the roof. That'll go like this. Okay, so it'll go like that on both sides, the roof. So I have these templates. I cut them out, and I also have this already in the Google Drive or the Google Classroom, so you can actually print that out, that exact one, and use it if you want. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, and it gives a nice little pedestal to put your piece on. So you get some clay, it's round, and cut some off your piece. So you got to make your first slab. So just go ahead and just start pushing the clay down. At school we have really industrial rolling pins and such, and slab rolling tables, but you really don't need them actually. It's fine to do it at home. Just set it on your board and just start pressing it, turning it, okay? You can pick it up and squeeze it some. Keep pressing it down. And I don't have a rolling pin at home for cooking, like some people might, but you can use a lot of other things as well. Like, look at here. Sunscreen, okay? You could use all kinds of things. I found lots of things around the house. I could use this to roll it out too. You could use like a hairspray bottle, whatever round and sturdy thing that you can get around the house. All right. Another thing you can do, which I actually don't really encourage at school because it creates too much noise and a lot of times too much dust from these boards. But let's see how, I know this camera's going to shake, so bear with me. Is you go like that and you slap it at an angle on your board and you turn it. So now I pick it like this, pick it up like that, go like that. Let me put this over here. Hold on, let me pause this for a second. Okay, I'm back over here on the floor. So the table makes a lot of vibration and shakes things around too much. Putting a board down on the floor is a good idea. You can go like this. You do it from the side. Twist it like this. So now I'm going to throw it like that. Go over here. Throw it like this. Okay? You just flop it. You're not throwing it down, you flop it by turning it. I'm going to pause again. Okay, so now I'm back up here at the table. First thing I want to do is I'm going to make like a little mound. I call them mounds. I take some newspaper, roll it up, take a couple pieces. And I like to have people experiment with mounds because they're a nice foundation to put works on now and in the future. What you do is you just roll the slab like this over the top of the newspaper. And kind of like your pinch project that you did, you just start thinking about the forms and you push it around, okay? Now of course you could take like your spear tool, needle tool, what have you, and trim it. It doesn't have to be very big. And you have to think about how you want to build a piece on top of this. Okay, I'm going to trim some of this clay off of here. Let me get a spin wheel to put this on. Oh, maybe a little board so you can see it well. So I can keep spinning this around. Okay, so just going to trim off some edges. You don't have to have a little board like this, but it's helpful for my demonstration purposes. Okay, so maybe I spray it a tiny bit because I just want to then work this a little bit. I can come in here, as you see, and try to just work the pliability of the clay. Now remember your pinch project where you pulled forms out and rolled them around. This is what I want you to try to experiment with a little bit. You can get up under here, pull pieces out, you can push them in. You can create, remember like in the pinch work, you have like little boulders like this. But spend some time. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because I like the demonstrations to be fairly short, plus they don't upload very well. But you spend some time really sculpting this into a nice organic feature, okay? The next thing you're going to do, now I already showed you how to make a slab. I'm not going to do that again because it's just going to take a lot of time. So I'm going to bring over a slab I've already made. Just pretend and now I'm spending time making a slab, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I have this other slab. I just went and did the exact same thing, and I just pressed some clay out, rolled it a little bit. You can just roll it and press it if you want. You don't have to go over to the floor and do the whole flopping thing, but I like to do it. So, but now I'm going to start my sides. Okay, so I have my cutout of the side of the building I want to do. Actually, sorry. First, I want to think, and this is a big part of this project, is impressed textures. So I want to take things and press them into the clay to create a cool surface. Okay, so we already went through subtractive textures, additive textures. In the classroom we have these plastic mats, but I've always said to people in the classroom, you don't need these, you can be more creative. So I just grabbed some things from around the house. Let's say this old rag that was in my garage. Looks like it's from oil painting. And I'm going to roll this in there. It's going to create a nice impressed texture. This is going to be for the sides of my building. Lift it up. I don't know if you can see it very well from the camera, but there are a lot of nice textures in there right now. Now I'm just going to screw around. I'll grab some string. I throw some string in there. Try to spread it around. Roll that in. Lift it up. Put it back somewhere else. Try not to have it too bunched up, too thick anywhere. Roll it in. Pick it up. Roll it in. You could do this for a long time and make a really cool in-depth texture. I got to cut this short because I know how difficult it is to upload long videos onto these drives. So I'm just going to stop there, but you could go a lot longer doing this. Very more developed, okay? Much more developed. Taking this little wire tool, it's a little wire brush. There's a wire brush here too. I'm just going to take this one. This one connects to a drill. I'm going to go through here. Press this around too, creating some nice textures. Okay, and you can spend some time doing all kinds of things like that. Now I take my piece of paper, okay, I put it on here. Take the back of my spear tool, trace around. Now when I do the other side, there's one very important thing you got to keep in mind. You just don't go like this. I don't go just putting it over here and doing the other side. Why do you think? Because the texture will be on the wrong side. That's why, of course. So you've got to flip it. All right, make sure you flip it when you do the other side of the building. And here I am. I got my two sides there. Now I just have to do, oops, sorry. Now I just have to do my roof. Now it's just two of these. 2 squares for my roof. Why am I cutting these out first, you might ask? Well, it's obvious that I want to start the building, but this next step is important for me to demonstrate. Working with slabs, there's one huge benefit to working with slabs, and that is you can work with some really nice and sturdy pieces of clay. Okay, so here we go, got all of our pieces, but to do so, I could never, if you look at these, I could never stand these up and start trying to put these together. This is insanity. No, this is just flop around. So what you've got to do now is you have to leave these out. I already screwed these up a little bit because I just tried to stand them up. Once you cut them, and you want to cut them nicer and slower than I just did, so they're nice and flat, really good edges, you let them sit out until they get to be leather hard. Just dry enough to where they no longer bend, but still they can hold their shape. Now let's fast forward in time, because you might have guessed it, I've already done this with a couple of other pieces. So let me grab those, get this clay out of the way, bring this back. I did this earlier. This is leather hard. Look, doesn't bend. Doesn't bend at all. It still has the same value. It still can be scored really well and connected. Okay? So what you have to do first is try to decide how I'm going to have this piece attaching into my mound. Hey, this looks like a good spot right here, maybe. Well, let me take a look here at how this might line up with this one. That could be fine. Maybe I'll have the building like this. Let's take a look. So, we kind of line this up on the mound. I trace where it will lie. It's going to lie right there. So, I have a spot where this is going to go in. So, I kind of cut out a little divot in there. I could take a little tool. Might be ideal that the clay's not this soft. Could have let it dry a tiny bit. And what I want to do is score then. Scoring, remember, mingles the clay. You can't connect any clay together without scoring it. And for the sake of demonstration, I've already scored a lot of edges of this slab already, but I've saved one just to show you. Before you start building your piece, you want to score all the way around it so you don't have to do it when it's standing up, because it's just a lot easier to do it like this. Okay, a lot easier. So if you have slip, use that. Slip is just watered down clay, really thin clay. Sometimes I'll cheat and I'll just use some water. All right, spray a little water. It's already scored here. It's a lot of scoring, and some water in there. And I'll just put this into that little place where I cut out already. All right. Let me tilt the camera a little farther up. I think this demonstration is going possibly a little too long already. I should hustle. Alright, so score this in here like that. Score the outside like this. Then you would grab a coil. Put it in here for support. Okay? Now I'll do the same thing for this side. Texture side out. Thinking about where I want it. Right there. So I traced out where that's going to go. Maybe I'll cut a little divot out of there for it to sit into. Score it. This is already scored because I told you I was trying to save time. Spray, spray, or use slip, which is even better. Put this piece in here, and you could even score a little bit more. Okay? I have my piece sitting up like this. Let me pause for a second while I get some more clay. Okay, so I have another slab here that I already put the textures into. It's wet clay, it's not leather hard. You're not going to be able to do leather hard on this side. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to eye it up. I got a lot of clay here, so I'm just going to cut a big fat slice and kind of bring it over to here. Now, because I have to just lay this down on here to figure out where it's going to go, it's only going to be to the roof line. So I can trace this out and cut it right there. Okay? I know this is, I'm going to just trace around here where this is going to lie. This is going to lie right about there. Just look it, look it, look it. How come this board's no longer on my wheel? I don't know. Pick it up. So here we go. It's like so. It's to the roof line. But now I have to take it back off, score it. I'm not going to do this because I got to try to save some time here. Score the back here. Score here. It's already scored. Spray it, and then attach it. Okay? This side, of course, didn't have to be leather hard because it has to curve into the project. So I'm going to cut another piece. Like so, from the one I just did. This one, of course, is much skinnier. I did not have to do, because I didn't make my piece completely square, because remember, this piece, this house is imaginative. It's creative. You're not trying to create anything of real life. You're trying to be, expressive and do something that's a little bit more interesting. We have enough real life around us. When you're doing your artwork, now I try to trace it. We got to pull that out a little bit right there. That's fine. And here's the side here. Okay? Now I got that side. So let's take a look around it. Got my building on my little mound. Now, let's turn on this light over here too. Now for my roof. I already have the leather hard pieces from before. I go ahead. This is already scored. This is scored. Spray, spray. This is going to overhang some. So I just kind of put it like this. Okay, this is different then. Now, actually, because I put this down, it's different from what I was planning, so you know what? So that's part of the game, is you adapt. So it didn't have to be that big. So what I'll do is this. These 2 points you just want to cut. Again, you have more slab here, so just throw a slab up there and take it from that point and just trace it. Trace it here. Over here, it's at this point. I'm going to trace it there. See this point here of the roof? I trace it there. Just cut it there. This roof is overhanging some. Now, if I wanted, because it's kind of trying to fall in a little bit, I could let that dry. Right now, I could come back with a hair dryer and hit it. I could support this with a little bit of newspaper or something right here so it doesn't fall in. Okay. That'll be the side of the roof. Let me pull this in. That'll be the side of the roof there. Now I can just take another piece of clay. I had some leather hard pieces, but you know what? It didn't really have to. It wasn't crucial it was leather hard because these are smaller pieces. Well, it's a little thin. Misjudged that. So I have another piece of clay here. I could just attach there, iron it up. Come over here, trace this, pulling it down, and I have my other side of the roof here. And remember, I'd want to score in between all of this. I'm just trying to go really quick, okay? But I'd want to score in between all of these too, in between all these roof access points. Okay, so this is the basic way to put your structure together. First, a soft piece of clay over newspaper to make it in a little mound. Then you just carve your two pieces of the two sides of your building. Then soft pieces on the two sides where it's curved, and then just throw your roof on. From here, you just start your detailing. Okay? I can start all of my little steps. I can cut a little door. I can do steps coming down, maybe a porch, windows. I can do a dormer coming out. Maybe I'll do a video for that later, but this will get you started. All right? I hope this helps.